Okay, everybody. I wanted to give you a quick video tutorial on just everything that I've got in Sports U right now. Um, and just kind of guide some of you who are new to the process, and kind of reiterate my expectations on how the powerlifting season and just start is going to go. So, first thing that I need from anybody who's interested is to join the powerlifting Sports U team. Okay, so if you don't have Sports U on your phone, go ahead and download it. The code, it's on the weight room doors. There's a couple of them other, plastered around on the walls. It's a very boring little flyer. I've, I kind of sent some out in an email. I sent some out to the other Sports U groups. But here is the code. And honestly, if you're watching this video right now, you probably already had the code because you're in here. Anyways, so that's my first expectation. Okay, then when you come in, I'm letting you guys know, hey, the weight room is open. All right, I'm gonna try to be in here 7:30 to 8 o'clock every morning. I'm also gonna try to be here for lunches, not Wednesdays, possibly not Fridays, but definitely as often as I can. So, big part, right? Here you are. Welcome to Powerlifting Club. So the first thing that I really want to show you is the StrongLifts 5x5. Okay, so you'll click on that. This is the program that we are going to use. It is absolutely effective. It has everything that you need to know about, one, doing the big three: squats, bench, and deadlift. Okay, the workout also includes barbell row, so we can get some back activation and some shoulder activation, just to kind of help encompass, all the movements a little bit. Now it says do the workouts, 3 workouts per week, right? And it's basically A, B, A, and then week 2, B, A, B. So it's just A, B, A, B, A, just like your school schedule. I would prefer, right, if you can, it doesn't have to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but ideally you do want to have at least a day in between so you can rest from this specific style workout. But let's say it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or maybe, your schedule is wonky and you do, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I don't, right now, I'm not too worried about the actual timing. I just want to see consistency. Did you do workout A, workout B? Okay, and then maybe you only got 2 workouts in the week. So maybe you did Monday and Wednesday, and then the next week you do, Monday, Wednesday. But ideally, the workout is still the same, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, but consistency, consistency, consistency. I need to know that you are going to fit this into your schedule, and this is practice. Okay, so like I said, I've got the weight room opened, and when I'm here, I'll work with you, but there is no actual like practice. Like, we're not meeting on, Tuesdays every week, or Tuesdays and like, you can do this at home. You can do this at any other gym that you have access to. You can come in here, but I'm not really doing a practice. I'm going to be more like an online trainer in a sense, right? I'm still here at school. If you have any questions, you can come ask me. But a lot of the work, it's a very self-initiated program that we're going to do. And later on, I'll find times that we can actually meet for real questions and going over videos and things like that. So when you start, you're going to start with just the empty bar. Now, if you are a lifter who's been lifting a while, you're still probably a beginner, but you might be able to put more on the bar to start. Okay, deadlifts 95, barbell rows 65. Some of you that have been in here already, we dropped this down to 45 as well, and we'll see about the deadlift when we get there. So the way that it's going to show, like the workout, it's going to start with the bar. Start with the bar. Okay, start with the 65 that it had, and then the next time that you come in to work out, you're just going to add 5 pounds. That's a 2.5 Um, sorry, that's a 2.5 to each side, right? Because you're going to squat every single time you come in. You're always going to squat. Then the next time you're going to alternate between bench press and overhead. So it's bench, overhead, bench, overhead, bench, overhead. And then the same, you're going to rotate between your rows and deadlifts. So row one day, deadlift, row, deadlift, row, deadlift. Okay? So every time you come in and you do that next workout, you're always just going to add 5 pounds. So when you squat 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, and on. Bench press, 45, right? You skip that day. The next time you come to bench press, you're adding 5 more pounds. The next time you come to bench press, it's 5 more pounds. Overhead, overhead, overhead. Okay? So that is with the deadlift, because it's a more it uses a lot more of your body. It's more what's the word? Compound movement. You are going to be able to add more weight. So you deadlift here at 95, then you can add 10 pounds, then you can add 10 pounds. Okay, because those weights are going to increase significantly more. So as you're here on the website, it has everything that you need: the workouts, the exercises, the rests, the sets, how you progress, where you need to start from, what you're doing as far as recovery, assistance work if you need something else, just everything that you would need to know. Or if you have any questions, this is a great program to really kind of show you and explain in a lot greater detail just everything about the motions and the movements. I do like just SportsLift or StrongLifts.com, and I'll put this into SportsU, but this even goes into further detail about how to squat, how to deadlift. So let's look at the squats. Okay, it kind of gives you the cues on how to stand. There's a picture and image. Look at that depth. Okay, and it goes into absolute detail of the form, the depth, the muscles. There's some videos so you can really watch. And then what do you need to do as you're squatting? How's your stance? What do you do with your feet and your toes? How should your hips be in your lower back? Where should you, grip and position the bar? Every single thing that you need to think about while you're squatting, it gives you a kind of a detail on it. Issues, right? If I see this a lot, leaning forward, heels coming up. Okay, what do you do? Okay, this is a it's kind of a cheat. Okay, you'll see a lot of coaches do this. I've done this probably with some of you. Okay, the alternative is you wear lifters, and they're shoes that have little heels on them. What we would need to do, it's just a brief fix, but it doesn't actually fix the issue. Okay, the issue is that you've got tightness here in your calves or somewhere else, and it's pulling those muscles. It's pulling that heel up. So what we would really need to do is work on your mobility, but this is just a cheap fix. Okay, moving on. So you've gone through, you've looked at all that. You're like, wow, okay, I'm so excited to get started. Boom, here's your spreadsheet. Okay, if you already have a program that you've been doing, then that's fine. But I need you to share it with me. Okay, I would love to be able to see what everybody is doing. I want to be able to track your progress. This is my way of kind of monitoring, where you're at, and again, what you're doing. So it's gonna send you to a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet. Make a copy. Okay, I've got it here in the title. I've got it highlighted. Make a copy of this. Then share it with me so I can follow along. Okay. So this can be for beginners or anybody who's been lifting for a while. Okay, the weights are set for absolute beginners. Actually, absolute beginners, we might even drop this down to 25. So the silver bar, but this is based on what they've given us. Okay, if you know your max. I want to know, what is it with proper form? Okay, not where your back was around it or your shoulders were hunched. And don't be like, oh yeah, a couple years or last year, last spring, that's been months in the past. Like, So if you're not 100% sure, you can kind of like guess, but I would definitely go on the lower side of what you think it is, or you can absolutely just kind of start back from here. So without me getting ahead, let me finish this, right? If they seem too light, that's okay. 45 pounds is light, but that's okay. One, I just want to see, are you coming into the weight room week 1, week 2, week 3? Okay, once you do your workout, right? So you come in on Monday, boom, you did this, you check it off, you check it off. Then whenever I come back and look, I'm like, oh wow, they did it, right? And I can see all these checks. Oh, you missed that day. That's okay. Next day you're going to come in, you did that, right? Don't ever skip a day like, oh, I wasn't able to come in on this day, so then you start working on this one. No. You just change the date. So like say here it's supposed to be 9. Well, you ended up missing that day, so now I come in on the 10th. Okay. Now it's gonna auto-populate, so it's gonna tell you when to come back in the next day. So don't ever skip a workout. Just change the date up here again, right? Don't worry about this. What was it? 10-9. And just make sure all of your rows are filled in. Okay. I would even almost suggest that, like, let's say I don't. You're working. You only had 15 minutes, and so you weren't able to hit those deadlifts. I would say next time you come in, maybe do your squat. Always start with your squat, right? Do your squat, your bench, your row, and then come back to the deadlift, so that you still hit that movement. All right. Don't skip any of these exercises. Don't skip any days. So coming back, all right, it's supposed to be slow, right? You're starting at 45. That's 5 sets of 5, so that's 25 reps. Okay, fine. This is a 12-week program. It's going to get us all the way up through Christmas. By the time you're done, you will be squatting. You have the potential, let's say, to squat 220 pounds for 25 reps. Okay, so yes, while it might seem easy here at the start, it's going to get progressively harder. You'll start to feel that around week 4, 5, 6, just kind of based on where you are. Okay, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail in a bit. So again, the temptation is to start heavier. Don't. Unless you've talked with me and we've kind of decided, okay, you know what, you can start at a higher weight. You risk the soreness. I know a lot of you, some of you are athletes doing some other sports, but the big thing is it'll have you plateauing in the first few weeks. Like it's made to last 12 weeks. Okay, if you bump this number up, you're like, oh shoot, that's too easy. I'm gonna start it at 95, right? It's gonna auto-populate, fantastic, right? But you're probably, let's say that 220 was around your max or something like that. Interesting. The code in here isn't. I'll fix that. I'll get that fixed. But you're probably. It's very possible that you would stagnate around this week, and you wouldn't even be able to make it to week 12. Okay, because you've gone up too much too fast. So, like I said, unless you've got permission from me to increase these weights, don't do it. Start with just the bar. Don't rush. Okay, I know it's like, oh, I'm lifting. Awesome. What's my PR? I want to know. No, you've got 3 months. 3 months to figure that out. So be slow, steady. And it's very possible, especially for you beginners. Once we hit that 12-week mark, then we'll have some time, some rest, over the Christmas break, and then we'll come back and we'll start again. So, hey, where were you? You know that you were consistently doing 220? Boom, guess what? Now we can auto-populate, and now this is where you're working, okay? So coming back to here, the dates, I showed you, the dates auto-populate, and kind of coming back to, where do you need to start? Here's a very brief example. So it has you starting back at 45 pounds, right? If you know that you can bench 95 pounds for 5 reps, you'd basically divide that by 2, and 45 times 2 is just 90. I'd rather you err on the lower side versus the higher, okay? slight beginners, start with just the bar. Absolute beginner, and I've already helped some of you like this, go down to the 25-pound bar. That's okay. Even if you start with the 25-pound bar, you are still going to make significant progress throughout the thing. By the time you hit week 8, you should be doing a plate plus uh, basically a plate on each side. Like, you'll be squatting like awesome. So it's all about consistency. Okay, consistency, consistency, consistency. And I saw that mess up over here. I need to fix that. So changing the weights will auto-populate. Don't adjust any other numbers. Well, I'll come back to that. Even if it feels heavy in the first week, it'll progressively get harder. Trust the process. I don't know how many times I can say it. I don't know how many times you can read it. Trust the process. Don't skip ahead, okay? Don't be like, oh, that's easy. I'm just going to skip over here. I'm not even going to worry about this week. I'm going to just start here. No. Like 45, 50, 55. 45, 50, 55. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And then I do want to see you check these boxes so that I know that you did it, okay? Now let's say, hey, you know what? I've been working. I'm going, and let's say I get here, and I can't do 120 for 5 by 5. Your first 3 sets, gosh, it feels really heavy. But you still kind of got 3 sets of 5. By the time you did your 4th set, you only got 3 or 4 reps, right? And then you tried your 5th set and you only got 2 reps. Like, dang, like, what happened? What's going on? There's a lot of things: lack of sleep, lack of concentration, lack of nutrition. It could also just be that it's getting heavier. This is kind of where your body's starting to hit that that oomph phase. So what you do is you still want to check it, and make note. Maybe for me, whenever I fail something, I just like to put an F, so that I know I failed it. And then the next piece is come over here, and then that's where you can change the number, 120. When you do squats again, you're going to come back and do it again. So let's say you come back, the next day, you load 120 on the bar, and you get 4 sets, right, of 5, and you're like, yeah, awesome, I'm feeling good. You get to that 5th set, and you still fail, right? Again, this is with good form. If you sit there and you're like, don't hit depth, and that's going to be very important. Every single time you do this, even starting from here, hit your depth, okay? If we train and you don't go low enough, then when you get to these heavier weights, when you go into competition, it's not going to count. And all this work that you've been doing isn't going to count. We're going to start back all the way down here so that I know you can actually get as low as you need for competition. So let's say that you get here, you aren't able to hit all 5 by 5 with perfect form. And I say perfect, but good, proper form. Hey, I did it. Guess what? It wasn't quite where I wanted it to be, so I'm going to hit 120 again. That's okay. Okay, because last time over here you were only able to do 3 sets. Now you did 4. Let's say you get back here and you do this workout looks exactly the same as this. You get 4 sets, 5. You still fell on that last set. That's all right. You come back here, you do it again. At some point, okay, being consistent, you are going to get it. Okay, and then boom. Now you can keep moving forward. Do you still? Here's where the mess up is. It jumps up to this point. I think maybe whoever did the program was assuming that. So maybe it was just a mix. This one didn't get the code. Maybe it wasn't coded the right way. And now I've messed things up. So don't worry about, you are still making progress, right? You are still absolutely making progress no matter what you do, as long as you're coming in, you're being consistent, and you're putting in the work. Okay, that's all I want to see. I hope that this was a good tutorial. Oh, and so when you make that copy, okay, I made a copy of make a copy because I know somebody's going to come in here and they're going to forget to make a copy, no matter how many times it says, and they're just going to start um, putting in, putting in their numbers or this or that. Or if like you've got me and I sit here and I'm sitting here messing with it, I might have messed something up. So when you make a copy, okay, you're going to make that copy and you are going to rename it. So for me, I would like to see you rename it your first and last name. And then you can keep the strong list 5x5, and then that's it. And then it'll come to I'll get a notification. Oh, you'll share. All right. Well, I'm already in here, right? You guys know how to share stuff. But then I'll get the notification. I'll keep everything in a nice folder, and then that's what it is. So thank you for watching. Please tell your friends. Nobody can't do this. Okay, everybody should be able to do it. So if you don't want to do it by yourself, find a friend, tell them to come in, and we'll get rolling from there. Last piece is I tried to update the calendar a little bit. If I'm gonna start doing lunches, then I'll put that in here. And do I have anything in media? I don't. I could put this video in the media. There we go. Right. I also have a welcome. So this kind of gives us more information. Oh, look at that. There's that. Here's this. Forms to complete. If you don't have a physical, or if you're not an athlete currently, you'll have to take care of this stuff right here. Okay. Thank you.